We back with another one, man. Can we keep it real podcast? What's going on, everybody? Friday Night Lights was pretty lit. A lot of good games going on. Some winners, some losers. Some teams are not going to be able to do it right away. We see what Pontiganza did, man, putting up 53 on North Providence. We'll talk to Jimmy Cook later on. I want to ask Jimmy Cook why he left his starters into the fourth quarter. You're up 53-0. Come on. If I'm gonna keep it real, I'm always gonna keep it real. But definitely big up to our sponsors, R&R Elite Recruits. If you're looking to get recruited, give Ronnie and his team a call. Over 3,000 schools, like 60,000 coaches, and it's definitely a 401 product. Speaking of 401 products, Emerson Kilgore. You want to go to Division I and you need somebody that knows how to get you there, go check out 401 Strength and Fitness. Emerson does a great job preparing guys to get to the next level. So we're going to bring in Coach Jeff Paiva right now. Let me get this picture out of here. What up, Coach? How we doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Not bad. You had a tough game last week against Charahoe. I figured you guys were going to go back to the drawing board, figure a couple things out. You said you got hit with the injury bug early. Now you played Johnston, who was in the Super Bowl last season. How did that game go?
Well, it went well. Our kids competed. We learned from some of our week one mistakes. I mean, without the injury fund, week one was our first time on the field, and it showed at times. A lot of inexperience mistakes, mental mistakes. We cleaned up some of those. We still have a lot more cleaning up to do. But we competed with Johnston last night. It was a really, really good football game. We kind of answered them score for score most of the game. It was a 14-12 game at the half. They beat us 34-24. It was pretty much a one-score game all the way through the game until the end. And that Johnston team's loaded with athletes. They're tough to deal with.
Yeah, no, they definitely are a good team, and just for you to be competitive, bouncing back against a tough week, your first game against Charahoe, going against Johnston Panthers, very, very tough team, well-coached team,
Yes.
And you keeping it competitive. I mean, like Coach Pennington said, we're gonna lose some. We're going to win some,
Yep.
And I told you, Coach Pennington, his first day as a West Warwick Wizard coach, he went out of his way to praise you and recommend you for the job right away. So he really has a lot of respect for you.
Yeah, it goes both ways. And I think that's the one of the biggest lessons I learned from Wes is, the wins and losses will take care of itself. We got to get the kids to compete at a level where it's possible. So if our compete level is there, last night our compete level was there and we came up a little short. So that's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for us to compete. And the wins and losses, they'll fall where they fall.
Very, very, so having that competitive game against Johnston, I'm sure you've seen a lot of good things that you like. What do you think you would need to focus on going forward? Not to give away your secrets over there.
Oh, no. I mean, we're young. So make football IQ and inexperienced mistakes. We just don't have enough football savvy kids to be able to roll with the punches and keep up with the pace of the game at times. They might recognize some things, but there's other things that they recognize and lose track of that experienced players, it comes natural. We don't have that natural football movement or that natural football IQ yet. We'll get it.
Yeah, you definitely will. And speaking of an experienced player, one of your ex-assistants, Coach Mike D, talked about Nathan Tessier, when he coached up there, and we have Nathan Tessier. He's in the green room right now. How did he play last night?
Hey, Tess balled out last night. Tess is one of our senior captains, and he had himself a night. He had about seven. I think he had 7 catches for about 150 yards and a touchdown. Um, he's a big, strong kid. He might not run away from people, but he catches it strong, and he had a heck of a game last night.
Nathan, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Also, Coach,
All right.
by the way, in the Johnson game, I ran away from a kid to score a touchdown.
Yeah, you did.
Hey,
That's what I like, yo. He's getting That's what I like to hear. He said I ran away, but you know what, Nate? Sometimes you have to look at the things that maybe you lack in, and just to work better at it. So now you got to run away from some of these kids coming up, because now coach is calling you out. So you played for Coach Pennington, and you also played for Coach Paiva. What are your thoughts about Coach Pennington?
Coach Pennington was a great guy. He knew a lot about the game. He taught me a lot on how to, especially with blocking. Blocking was a big thing that he would teach me on, because under Coach Pennington we were very, very run heavy. So he'd be hard on you, but it was always to help you out. And so there would be a couple points where I'd miss a block and be like, "Hey, you gotta come in, get your hands up into him, and drive him back." I'm like, "Yes, coach." And then go back out there. But he was a good guy. I love Coach Pennington.
So what advice do you have for the young guys that are under Coach Pennington right now, knowing that, you came up with Coach Pennington, this is your first year, so what's some of your advice to some of them young bulls out there that may be looking at this big 19-foot angel? He's a big boy, but, give some of the young kids some advice to deal with Pennington.
Just don't be afraid to come up and talk to him, I guess. He'll give you advice on things. He'll try and listen to you too. If you have something to say, he'll try and listen to you. So just don't be afraid, because he's a big and scary guy. But just don't be afraid of him, because
I could see that. I could see where he's big, and you guy's a movie. Like he is. He's just, you look at his resume. I said, dude, your resume is a movie. I don't even know where to stop. But salute to Coach Pennington. Nice guy. Big fan of the show. He got a win last night, Coach.
He did. I texted him after everything settled down last night, and we chatted a little bit. I'm excited for him. I'm not surprised. If you sleep on a Coach Pennington coach team, they're gonna jump up and bite you in the butt, and that's what happened yesterday. And he'll get his kids ready to play every week. Every week he'll have those kids ready to play.
Well, Coventry comes out the gate, has a couple strong games against, some D1 teams that have issues themselves, and then they go up against Mount Pleasant, and it wasn't really a good look for what ended up happening. And then Pennington, Mount Pleasant goes into there, and everybody is surprised waking up this morning that West Warwick won. And great coaches up there. You have someone you worked with, Coach Mike.
Yep.
Who was on your staff. Coach Pennington brings him in right away. The Kohler kid, which has been a product of West Warwick for a long time. I can't think of his first name. Jordan Kohler, and Coach Pennington, of course, himself. But what is your advice you would have for some of his staff to dealing with Coach Pennington?
He's a great guy to coach under and coach for. But like Tess said, don't be afraid to speak your mind and let him know what you're thinking. He definitely has a plan in place, right? And it's definitely going to go in that direction. But he'll always listen to your input. It might not look like it. It might not sound like it. But he's always listening, and he's always open to suggestion. I always found very receptive, and he's going to let them coach. He's going to let those guys coach, and he's going to coach. And the one thing you'll realize is that West Warwick will be prepared every week. They might not be able to match up, but they'll be prepared, and there'll be nothing that happens in the game that they're not ready for.
I'm sure you probably made Coach Pennington's hair stand up since saying that, because I know he is an emotional guy, and he's gonna enjoy them words of encouragement. Now, Nathan, how's doing push-ups and goose crap coming along?
Hey, the geese are now moving down south, so we don't have to do it that much anymore.
Are they pretty aggressive?
Yeah. We had one day line up in a whole fence, we had to make a wall, like a human wall, and force the geese off the field.
Wow, and I have geese all around me, and at times they could definitely be very, very aggressive. But are you looking forward to having your new turf field coming? Like, shout out to the superintendent over there. Like, that is amazing. That guy is working his butt off to get you guys that field by the Narragansett game.
Yeah, I'm excited. Playing on the new field, senior year. I'm excited for that.
So go ahead, Jeff.
We had another truckload deliver supplies in this morning. I was actually at the field this morning. I'm in the parking lot now. I watched another truck roll in. Hopefully this project gets rolling.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to come up when it gets done, maybe take some pictures. I know I'll have to bring my my Wi-Fi hotspot because I know you guys are suffering Wi-Fi out there. So if the school committee's listening, let's get some Wi-Fi going now. That'll help as well because the game's going to a new place. And without Wi-Fi, how are you going to get the exposure that you guys need? But congratulations on that new field.
Thanks. We're excited. We can't wait to get on it.
So who do you guys got coming up this week?
We got a daunting task in Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Another tough game. Like the beginning of our schedule is brutal. Like I said last week and the week before, I fully suspect Charahoe, Johnston, and Pilgrim to be 3 out of the top 4 teams in the division. And we get them coming out of the gate. So we knew we had a hill to climb, right? And that's our motto this year. And that's
right.
What we're rolling with is we just got to climb whatever hill they put in front of us.
And that is a hill. I keep saying that the Super Bowl is going to go through Pilgrim. You see Coach Blake, when you guys won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, he won as well.
Yes.
And he gets hit. He gets thrown to Division II. He gets his lashings. He comes back to Division III, and the energy is so different over there. So yeah. And your guys wanted to play this game. This seemed to be the game but I don't know if it's a good game to want to play them coming off disappointing Tollgate backing out.
Yeah. Hey, we could play them whenever, and it's going to be a tough game. But that's what's on the schedule. That's who we're going to get ready to play, and that's why they play the game, right? Is
exactly
to let everybody shine, and we show up and compete and play our game. That's all we ask for, and we'll see how everything shakes out. But it's certainly going to be a measuring game for us to see exactly where we are.
No, it definitely is playing against, a Brady Burke, very, very good player. He had player of the week last week. He could have been an option for player of the week this week, but I think it went to Connor Winmer, and they were looking forward to that Tollgate game. Not having a game in your division, really hurts.
Yeah, that's an inner city game, right? That's a crosstown rivalry. Yeah, I feel bad for those guys having to miss out on that game. But it's the times we're in, I guess, and we're just hoping that it doesn't happen to us.
Well, yes, it is the times we're in, but I'm also hearing, and you don't have to comment on it, I'm also hearing a lot of speculation that, schools are doing this to back out of games, to get the no contest. And because the executive director said the other day, he said, I don't want to hear you guys, like, you have 1 or 2 starters that go down. I don't want to hear you can't, if you have a majority of your team And some people are speculating that that's exactly what's going on. So, you don't have to comment on this. I know that's a touchy subject, but like, if it is for the safety of the kids, cool. But we have to play these games no matter who's on your schedule.
Right. And I'm not going to speculate on what happened last week. All I can say is, you know, we're gonna play who's in front of us. Week one, that was a Charahoe game. It was 14-0, and I lose a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and turns to 41-0 real quick. And that's part of playing football, and that those things happen at times.
I forgot you lost all them guys. I mean, you did say you got hit with the injury bug, but our reception was kind of shaky, and we didn't really have a chance to talk about
we
them
lost
guys.
Yeah, we lost our starting running back, our starting quarterback, and our starting wide receiver, all of which play both sides of the ball. So that's our starting safety and both our starting corners. Now, that's tough to overcome.
Did they come back? Are they going to be healthy? Will they be back? Can you even talk about that?
Yeah, they came back, and they actually played this week against Johnston. And they competed with everything they had. And, if we can get through games healthy, especially these first couple of weeks, it'll set us up. It'll make us stronger. I think it'll help us.
I mean, I'll tell you what, there's no Kool-Aid that pumps through the hearts of your kids. I got to say that, man. I got to say, when they show up, they know it's man versus man. There's no intimidation factors like you see from some other schools when you go play some of these inner city schools. Your kids, really, there ain't no Kool-Aid that pumps through their veins.
Yeah, and if anybody was watching that week one game, and even this last week against Johnston, our kids from the beginning to the end, and we're getting pounded by Charahoe. There's no denying it, and we had guys go down, and we had guys come in and played with a ton of energy, and it was their shot to prove that they belonged on the field, and they got some run against Johnston after they proved that. So we found a little bit of depth. Not the way we wanted to find it, but we found a little bit of depth, and it starts with their heart, and we say that, right? We have the word Northman across our chest on our uniforms, and that means something. It means something to me, and it means something to my guys. And if we can remember that and play that way, no one will ever be able to question our heart and our desire and our effort.
Now, I told you people are always watching. Look at that. You see on the screen, what's up, Nate, my man? I just sent Coach Pennington an invite, so, I wouldn't be surprised if he pops in. He's a great man, as we said earlier, and you spoke highly about him, Nate, earlier. But, Nate, let me ask you, you're a senior. College, what are you thinking?
There's really one college I'm looking at, like, the most, but I'm thinking more like Division 2 or Division 3. I feel like that's my spot, is Division 2 or Division 3.
Respect to you for even saying that, because shout out Najee Barrows, Westerly Bulldog offensive line coach. They be watching. They definitely be watching. Division 2, Division 3, and a lot of people, Emerson Kilgore, Coach Ryan McCormick up there, UMass Stockman, even Willie Edwards at Brown says, when you get your diploma at the end, they don't say D1, D2, D3. And there's some great D3 programs, even in our own area. You look at everything. I mean, I'm biased because Coach McCormick's a good friend of mine. But what Coach McCormick has built at UMass Stockman with the help of everything they're doing, is what a beautiful facility they have up there at UMass Stockman. So salute to you for being mature enough to know that, and being interested in D2 and D3 schools.
If Nate wants to play football at the next level, somebody's going to be lucky to have this kid. Big, strong kid that gives everything in practice, and then in games. He's definitely has a home somewhere if that's what he wants to do. Nate's a great student. He has big plans for what he wants to do with his life. And a lot of that is academic. And, I know what some of his goals and aspirations are. And, there's no doubt in my mind he'll get there. I'm just happy I have this kid playing for me.
Well, recruiters, listen up, man. Check them out, Nate Tessier. Nate, the best thing to do, get on Twitter, put your huddle on there, and just start contacting a lot of these coaches. Reach out to Willie Edwards. He said he's outside. Salute Wes Pennington, man. How we doing, Coach?
What's happening?
A lot of people are.
You got two of my favorite people on here. I had to come in.
I told them you're a top fan. I said, Wes Pennington's always paying attention. Coach Blake, I said, so people are listening, man. Wes, people are surprised you won last night, man.
Congratulations, Coach.
What the disrespect, Wes? The disrespect, Coach.
That's okay.
Coach,
okay.
I'm not surprised.
They're like, what do you mean? Wow. Who? I'm telling you. Watch out for them boys up there. I seen that film. I've been watching their YouTube page.
Yeah, we should be 2-0, but that's okay. That's all right. I like they underestimate us. I love it. Hey, but these two guys you got on here right now, Mike, two of the best guys that you could ever meet. I mean, I can't say enough about Coach Paiva, my man Jeff. I highly recommended him for that job because I knew that he would come in and do an awesome job as a head coach of that organization and that program and keep them, going on the right track. And, Nate, I've coached since he was a freshman and watched him progress and grow. And I knew that he would have a monster season coming out this year, and he is. I'm watching from afar, and I'm extremely proud to see you out there, Nate, just doing your work, man, getting it done.
What you got to say about that, Nate, man, huh?
That means a lot to me. That means a lot. This is a guy that I've looked up to, so it means a lot for him to say something like this.
Well, yeah, Coach Pennington, early on, both these guys spoke very highly of you, and I know Coach Paiva, you mean the world to him because anytime I mention you, you could tell in his face he gets a little flustered and emotional. So, you was a great leader, and I'm sure you're a great friend. You know what I mean? And relationships like this is what we need in coaching.
Absolutely. Jeff and we brought on a lot of coaches at once, and Jeff came on with us. Jeff, what was it, like 7 years ago?
Yeah. Right after we couldn't finish the season. So
right.
I came in with the Mount merger, and all my guys that I'd been coaching in the Express all were freshmen that year. So
right. And it's one thing to have a coaching relationship, but me and Jeff, we're friends. I call him brother, because we've shared a whole lot, more than football. So and that's what coaching does. That's what the game of football does. It brings people together, and it definitely brought me and him together. And that's why as I sit back, a lot of times we look at wins and losses, and we gauge success based on our wins and our losses. But the truth is that success is gauged based on your impact on the players that you coach. And Jeff is a huge success in reference to his impact on the players that he coaches.
Thanks, Jeff mentioned, them are big words. Jeff mentioned earlier that even though he took the loss to the Johnston game, he said it was, he liked what came out of that game. Of course, you want the win, right, Coach?
Yeah, yes, it's not a win, and winning a football game is the goal you set out for. But there are things you can take out of it. And like I said, I judge our success on our compete level. If our compete level's there and we're playing with the heart that I want to see, every game is going to be a successful game, no matter what comes on the end of a win and a loss. And I saw that last night. There's compete, and when Coach Achardo comes over at the end of the game and says, "Hey, your guys played hard, and they were well prepared," and that's all you can ask for. So these guys earned the respect of the guys that were across the sideline from them And as a football team and as Northmen, that's all we can want, is to have the other team respect us when we walk off the field when we're done. And I think we got that last night.
Hey, Mike. So, you know, sometimes there have been games where, we've lost football games but gotten better. And you hate to try to take make a loss something that's good, because we don't want to lose. But there have been times when you walk off the field after losing the game and go, you know what? We got better today. We got better. We played better football today than we have. And if you can continue on that road, Coach, about you getting better every week, the wins are going to come. The wins are going to come. But more importantly, you're going to build a team.
Well, you had a game like that last week that you played very, very well. You said, and not only you, a lot of people said that West Warwick was the best product on the field that night. I put a question out there to your quarterback's parents today. I said, "How do you guys like West Pennington up there?" I said, "The kids love them,"
and they will, Listen, kids love structure. Kids love knowing exactly what they're going to get day in and day out, and that's what they're going to get in West Warwick, right? They're going to know exactly which direction Coach Pennington's coming from. He doesn't hide. He doesn't sneak around corners to catch up on somebody. He's going to come right at you, and the kids are going to love that, and they'll respond to it. I've watched it for the last 6-7 years, and there's no doubt, different city, it's going to be the same result.
Thank you.
Well, I have Coach Najee Barrows in the audience. I just want to say, salute to Najee last night, having a tremendous game. His line played very, very well. Coach Dunbar and his staff and the Bulldogs got a big, big win up in Rogers. I think it was 50-something to 12, maybe. Rogers did get a couple punt returns, but congratulations to Najee. His line played very well, and I just wanted to say that while Najee was in the audience listening.
Hey, what's up, Coach? Good to see you guys being successful out there. I know you're the man. Me and Naj coached for the semi-pro team that used to play in NorthSmithfield. Their home field was NorthSmithfield, and he was one of the coaches, and I was helping out there, and I had an opportunity to really get to meet and know Naj, and quality guy, great coach. We'll actually look. It'll be cool to coach against them on the other side of the field in a few weeks.
Yeah, let's test my football knowledge. The Shamrocks.
No, it was. What was the name of that semi-pro team, Jeff?
The War Dogs.
War Dogs.
Oh, the War Dogs. Najee brought such. I think Najee was needed in a town like Westerly with these kids, because they could relate to him. He wears his heart on his sleeve. You know what I mean? And he adapts to the kids, and he gets them kids so hyped up. You see him on the sideline, all yelling and, not yelling at the kids, but just being very, very hype. And that's something that these kids desperately need. Like you said, kids need structure. They may not say it, but they appreciate, when you're firm with them. And I'm sure Nathan can contest to this because he spoke very highly about you. And Wes, I asked Nate and I asked Jeff their advice for coaches that are coaching with you, for players that are coming up and seeing you on the sideline, and they had great things. What would be your advice for Nathan, going into his collegiate endeavor, if you was to talk to a recruiter right now?
I would just say, and I probably have said this to Nate in the past, is your work ethic is everything. Number one is school, right? You got to make sure that your grades are where they are, because if your grades aren't good, you can't go anywhere. It doesn't matter how great of an athlete that you are, you'll never be able to go anywhere. So once your school grades, it's your work ethic. And he has such a great work ethic. He loves the game of football. He's a student to the game of football. So yeah, like I heard Jeff say earlier, any college coach, anybody out there that's listening, this is a guy that you want on your squad. This is a guy that you want to make part of your organization, because he's he's just scratching the surface on how good he can be. He really is. And I just see Nate doing great things. I see him going on to play at the next level in college and doing great there. And life is the limit for him right now. Just keep focused, keep working, man, and it'll all pay off for you.
Very good words. I hear your name a lot, Nate. People writing articles and just seeing posts. So good for you. Congratulations. I don't think you had a chance to join us. Was he on the stream a few weeks ago, Jeff?
Nah, I wasn't.
He found out he was allergic to some sort of peanuts or something like 30 minutes before we were scheduled to go on. So he was in the emergency room when we went on, and he was kind of looking like that dude from the Goonies off.
Oh,
Not coming on camera that night.
It's funny you mention him, but that's another story. But I'm glad you look a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys are gonna do well up there in NorthSmithfield. Wes, you're gonna do great, man. I'm pulling for you guys. I heard Mr. Green was had his maiden voyage in your commentary.
He was, yeah, he was up there giving play-by-play. I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't know if he said nice things or what, but I'm gonna check it out.
He's an administrator. Yeah, he knows he says nice things. I love Mike Green, man. Salute to Coach Green, another big fan of the show. So salute to him. I love what you guys are doing over there.
We're gonna make it happen. This week we got a huge test, but we're gonna play it. And see what happens. We're gonna go up and give it our shot. And one of the things that I've learned over my football career playing is that you got to play the game. Anything can happen on a given day, so you go play it and let the chips fall where they may. So
that is gonna be a big game. I think the key to that is like some tempo on them dudes. Like you have to go fast because they're big. But one thing I noticed about St. Ray's is they kept the guys in late into the game against Westerly. And I was kind of surprised. Moses Muse being a big kid. They got Chris Molina, who's another good. I think the kid on that team is Napoleon DeBarros.
Yeah, Dave.
Napoleon DeBarros, number 34, is definitely. I'm giving away all the health secrets now. Napoleon DeBarros is definitely a good player. So you guys both have tough games coming up this week. I wish you both the luck. Coach Paiva has Coach Blake, who's really upset about not playing this week. So Coach Blake and his team is going to be ready. I salute to Coach Blake. In the offseason, he had his fundraisers. He was able to raise the money to buy 2 sets of uniforms.
Nice. For
his kids. You know what I mean? I think it was for the Love of the Game uniform company, but it's things like that makes you a coach. You know what I mean? Doing that off-season stuff because you guys know it's a year-round gig.
Yes, sir. And, we've seen Coach Simpson, 2 years ago when both of those, us and Pilgrim, were in respective Super Bowls, we got to see them at the dinners and the banquets and whatnot. And you could tell just by being in the same room that Coach Simpson had those kids' imagination and attention. So, all the stories that come through with the successes of Pilgrim, they're not surprising to anybody that has been paying attention. He's doing some good things there.
No, you're absolutely right. And I remember when from the year that you guys went to the Super Bowl, Coach Pennington wins Coach of the Year. Blake Simpson and his boys marched down to Town Hall because they were taking football away. They stayed there until the mayor came out. Then they went from Town Hall all the way to Cranston Stadium, win a Super Bowl that year. That was such an incredible year. And it's because of coaches like Coach Simpson that their kids believe in him. Coach Washington, another team, another head coach that his kids are buying into what he's teaching them. And he's not lying. He's telling you, this is how it is on these streets and this is what we need to do. to be a better man, and these, and it's coaches like you and Coach Pennington and Coach Fortin and so many great coaches, Coach Dunbar, I can go on and on. So many great coaches in the league. So I thank you guys.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Mikey, I gotta take off, brother, but I had to jump in to say hi to Jeff.
Yes, thank you, Coach.
Hey, you guys keep plugging. All right, keep plugging. Good things are
Thank-
coming your way.
Thanks, Coach.
All right,
Hey,
Coach Pennington.
congratulations on the first of many.
Thank you.
All right, bye bye. Coach Pennington, great guy. I'll leave you with these last questions. Nathan, what's your favorite NFL team?
Patriots.
Patriots. You got a lot of Patriot guys up there. Well, you had a Brown too, right? Cleveland Browns.
It was
I
the
don't know anybody
Dolphins.
that's Brown.
Oh no, Coach
Yeah,
Blake
Dolphins.
had a Cleveland Brown fan because I
Yeah.
had you guys both on the same day.
Yeah, we had the Dolphins. Zach's a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, and then
Dolphins.
one of our other captains, Cole Skinner, is a Cowboys fan.
Didn't the Dolphins have a rough week? Didn't they get beat pretty bad by?
Yeah, they're not very good.
Yeah.
They looked all right, And who's your favorite all-time NFL player? I probably already know where this is going.
Like currently, right now, it's Julio Jones. That
Wow.
right now, but all time, I guess it'd have to be Jerry Rice.
Wow.
Even though I've never actually seen him play, obviously live, but like I've seen his film, I've seen like the highlights and stuff. I've seen his stats, and that's like a player that I want to be.
Yeah, Jerry Rice was an exceptional player, but in Jerry Rice's days, you stayed with a team. They kept that team together for like 10, 15 years. Nowadays it's kind of hard. Is it surprising you that Julian Edelman is like right on Jerry Rice's heels for postseason stats? Like he's second, and there's no one else even
that was kind of
close.
surprising, but at the same time, if you look at it, it's kind of obvious at the same time because him and Tom Brady had such a huge connection, especially in the postseason. Edelman would always go off in the postseason.
Yeah, Coach Paiva, what do you feel? Do you think Edelman should be a Hall of Fame candidate with his postseason stats?
That's tough. I don't know. I genuinely don't know on that one. When you look at like his Pro Bowl and his All Pro stuff, he doesn't have any. So does that mean he wasn't regarded in that way? And if you're not regarded as the best player in your position in the amount of times you've played, I don't know if you can be considered a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
In
respect to that, but nobody on the page.
It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah, no, I understand. But it's kind of tough for a lot of Patriot players to get because Belichick, he spreads it out.
Yep.
He does like a lot of people don't do. But you guys surprised in Ponagansett, 53-0, not letting off the gas over there against North Providence.
Hey, I wasn't there. I didn't see that game. I don't know.
No, are you surprised they scored 53 points? Like that's
No. Ponagantset's going to do that week in and week out. I think they are the prohibitive favorite in Division 4.
Yeah, that Division 4 is definitely getting interesting. That's for sure. You've got Ponagansett, EWG, Scituate. They came off a tough loss. They won against Hope. Look at the Smithfield and Hope game last night. I don't think Hope was a fumbling machine. 6 fumbles. Let Smithfield right back in it.
If you can't match the physicality of Ponagansett and the size of Ponagansett, you are going to be in for a long night. In our successful years here at NorthSmithfield, Ponagansett was the only team that could match our physicality and our style of play. That's what made some of those games epic football games. Absolute just wars in the trenches. And if you don't have a Division 4 team that can match their size and physicality, and I don't know if there are many in Division 4, Ponagantset's just going to run it down your throat.
Yeah, definitely, man. Very, very good team. Now, Nate, was that a game you were looking forward to, like your teammates, the game against Ponagansett for the injury fund?
Of course, I've always just someone against playing against Ponagansett. It's just I'm always excited to play against them.
A lot of people want Pano. Well, the journal did write that silly thing saying that Pano can beat D2 teams right now. So I think that was kind of fetched. But Coach Cook should be on today. I like getting his hair sticking up on his head. Shout out Coach Cook, man. I actually love all them coaches in D4, but D3, here we go. Good luck. Hey, if anyone in Smithfield wants to sponsor this episode, definitely message me. Any more captains want to come in, if whenever you guys are promoting something, definitely reach out to me, especially fundraisers, any good causes. Coach, thank you very much.
We certainly will, and we'll see you. We'll see you next Friday night, and I'll have another guy that has stood out in the game with me, and we'll talk football next Friday night.
Salute to you, win or lose, man. That's why I respect you, man. Win or lose, you're gonna be here. All right, Nathan. Good luck, and I'm sure colleges will be keeping an eye out for you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, Nate. Rest up, dude. See you Monday.
Yes,
Two great guests coming in, Coach Paiva, Nate Tessia, balled out yesterday. That was a very, very good show. West Pennington stepped in. Very, very good. But thank you. Yo, we're going to be back in a little while. I'm going to reset this, get some scores together, reach out to Coach Cook, see if we can get Coach Cook up in here. He said he would come in, beating North Providence. What a game that was. I had people at the game that were sending me scores. That game, oof. What a game. EWG and Davies today. Is that game going on already? No, 1 o'clock start, so definitely check that game out at McCoy Stadium. I think Fans Only Sports, I believe I have that right here. Fans Only Sports has a game at... Oh, and you could check anything on fansonlysports.com. Go on fansonlysports.com. They got a nice little website there. You can actually get the app. And you could catch highlights on NBC 10 News. So definitely, there was a lot of great games. And go to Fans Only Sports YouTube page. And you could watch the game from last night, the Central game, the Portsmouth. Very, very good game. It came down to the last play. I think Portsmouth threw it up. Some people say it was a catch, but I think that was just a glare. You could tell, pretty much the ball did hit the ground. But what a game that was. Cranston West, another game you could catch on Fans Only Sports. Cranston West, they opened up that game. I want to say that they controlled the first quarter. They had the ball like 9, almost going into 10 minutes, and I think they give it up on downs. But Cranston West loses that game. NK ends up pulling away from them. I think I want to say it was 17-2 off my memory, but we'll be back in a little bit. Listen, if you want to sponsor any of these episodes, any of them, definitely let me know. We have a lot of great coaches that come in here. We've been talking to Coach Cook, up there at Ponagansett. We've been talking to Coach Fortin at EWG. I'm looking forward to the Davies and Situate game coming up. Maybe we'll talk to Coach D pretty soon. Coach Blake. We've been talking to Coach Blake over there at Pilgrim. Definitely Pilgrim, definitely getting their respect, man. How about Coach Mike Washington picking up that big win yesterday over at Central? And Stanley Dunbar and his crew, man, what a game. Zach Tuck, shout out to you. Like 250 yards, Zach Tuck. I knew Zach for a few years now. I watched him come up to the youth program. What a good kid. Comes from two great parents. He played for the Westerly Bulldogs Pee Wee organization. But what a great kid, Zach Tuck. Salute to you. Man, what a game. That kid just ran all over the field. 250 yards. Bulldogs had to have almost 500 yards Speaking of the Bulldogs, October 1st, fansonlysports.com. You can watch a Westerly Bulldog game live stream, man. Quality content. Not like this green screen behind me. I gotta fix the lighting. But give me one minute and check this out.
Thing you want to change?
I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell that. Everybody's like, football's a team game. Okay, it's not a team game. Okay, I did my part. All right, I put in a great game plan. I mean, these players, they're horrible. My players are no good. I mean, everybody's like, no excuses. No, I got 22 excuses. 11 on my offense and 11 on my defense. Our offensive coordinator is terrible. He gets half of his plays off of Madden rookie mode. I mean,
Well, it froze on my end. I don't know if it froze on your end, but we'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to send Coach Cook his invite right now, so we'll be back.
You nervous with butterflies in your stomach, don't try to intimidate me, you couldn't scare me with lip. I'm spontaneous, smart, dangerous, fancy and quick. My trainer told me to work, he ain't